When we talk about the ego, it is often portrayed as the villain in our story. It is associated with arrogance, selfishness, and behaviors that separate us from others. But is it really bad to have an ego? Or is it simply a part of us that, when misunderstood, can lead us astray from our true potential? The truth is that the ego is not bad. It is, in fact, an essential part of our humanity. It is the bridge between our inner identity and the outside world, a psychological tool designed to help us navigate life. As Carl Jung once said, the ego is the foundation upon which we build our perception of reality. First, let's clarify a common misconception. The ego is not selfishness. Selfishness arises when the ego becomes unbalanced and acts solely based on its own interests, disregarding others. On the other hand, a balanced ego allows us to be aware of our own worth without demeaning those around us. The ego is the compass that defines our identity. Who am I? What do I want? What defines me? But when it loses harmony, it becomes a tyrant, seeking constant recognition and avoiding criticism. This can lead to toxic relationships, impulsive decisions, and a deep disconnection from our authenticity. The ego, in its purest form, is a force that drives us to action. It is the engine behind our ambition, the impulse that drives us to fight for our dreams. Without the ego, we would lack identity and purpose. As Sigmund Freud explained, the ego is the mediator between our desires, ID, and our responsibilities, superego, seeking balance. The key is in harmonizing it. A harmonious ego allows us to recognize our value without falling into arrogance. It gives us confidence without the need to compete or compare ourselves. It drives us to improve, not from the fear of failure, but from the desire to grow. When the ego overflows, it leads us down dangerous paths. We become prisoners of what others will think, dependent on external validation, and lose the ability to accept our mistakes. This is where selfishness, insecurity, and disconnection are born. An unchecked ego makes us forget that we are not the center of the universe. It isolates us because no one wants to be around someone who can't see beyond themselves. But the most dangerous thing is that this type of ego destroys our common sense and takes us far from what truly matters: love, authentic relationships, and our inner peace. True power is not in eliminating the ego, but in recognizing it, understanding it, and mastering it. A harmonious ego becomes our greatest ally. It gives us the confidence to lead, the humility to learn, and the strength to face any adversity. Tools to master your ego: self-observation. Learn to notice when your ego speaks louder than your heart. Ask yourself, am I making this decision out of insecurity or authenticity? Practice empathy. Listen more than you speak. Putting yourself in someone else's shoes will help balance your perspective. Accept criticism. Instead of resisting it, use it as an opportunity to grow. A balanced ego does not fear mistakes. It transforms them into learning. Meditate and reflect. Spirituality can help you reconnect with what is essential, reminding you that you are part of something much larger. Celebrate others' success. A harmonious ego doesn't see competition, only inspiration. When we balance our ego, we become unstoppable. We no longer act from the fear of failure or seek constant approval. Instead, we move with purpose, confidence, and authenticity. The ego is like a fire. It can light your way or consume everything if not controlled. Recognize it as an essential part of your being, but don't let it take full control. Use its strength to build, not destroy. Remember that the ego is not your enemy, it is your tool. If you master it, it will give you the courage to conquer your dreams and the humility to learn from each fall. As Lao Tzu said, "He who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is powerful." If you choose to be that powerful being, embrace your ego, balance it, and use its energy to always go further. Because when you find that harmony, your limits for what you can achieve will be only what you can imagine.